a force that controls every aspect of our lives. Seconds, minutes, hours. We believe time moves forward, never backward. But what if everything we know about time is wrong? Centuries ago, a great Sufi master, Ibn Arabi, made a shocking discovery. He wrote that time is not a straight path, but a series of doors. He believed some could pass through these doors, glimpsing events from the past, and even the future. Could this mean that hidden time portals exist in ways we don't yet understand? And did Ibn Arabi have access to them? Ibn Arabi, born in 1165 in Al-Andalus, was no ordinary scholar. He was a visionary, a mystic, a man who saw beyond the physical world. His writings on spirituality, dimensions, and time itself have puzzled scholars for centuries. In his book, Fusus al-Hikam, he described a reality beyond human perception, a world where time flows differently, where the past, present, and future exist all at once. One of his most mysterious experiences happened in Mecca. As he stood near the Kaaba, he claimed to witness visions from different time periods, scenes from the past, and glimpses of the future. Could this mean Ibn Arabi had access to a hidden dimension? Did he tap into a secret knowledge that science is only now beginning to explore? Join us as we uncover the shocking secrets of Ibn Arabi's mystical journey through time and what it means for us today. The hidden mysteries of time in Ibn Arabi's teachings. To understand Ibn Arabi's mysterious insights into time, we must first understand the man behind these teachings. Who was he? And why do some call him the greatest sheikh? Long before he became a revered Sufi master, Ibn Arabi was just a seeker, a young man in a world overflowing with knowledge, yet burdened by questions that had no answers. He was born in 12th century Andalusia, a land where the wisdom of the East and the West intertwined, a place where scholars debated the nature of existence, where poetry, philosophy, and mysticism thrived. And yet, amid this ocean of knowledge, Ibn Arabi felt something was missing, something beyond words, beyond logic, something hidden. As a child, he was surrounded by scholars, poets, and rulers. He heard their discussions about the universe, the soul, and the divine. But while others sought answers in books and debates, Ibn Arabi felt an irresistible pull towards something deeper, something beyond what the eyes could see and the mind could grasp. He studied the great thinkers, Plato, who saw time as a moving image of eternity, Aristotle, who defined it as the measure of change, and the ancient mystics, who spoke of time as a veil over hidden realities. But none of these explanations satisfied his soul. Was time truly just a series of passing moments? Or was it something far more alive? He often gazed at the stars, wondering, do they move forward through time? Or do they exist in all times, all at once? And then came the night that changed everything. Seeking answers, he withdrew from the noise of the world. He had heard of the great Sufi masters, those who had seen beyond the illusion of time. Perhaps, in silence, he too would find the truth. As his mind fell into stillness, something strange began to happen. The walls of reality wavered. The stars above seemed to pulse, and in that moment, Ibn Arabi saw something that would change his understanding of time forever. Time had always been a mystery to Ibn Arabi. Was it an endless river, flowing in one direction? Or was it a great ocean, where past, present, and future existed all at once? On this night, as he drifted deeper into contemplation, something unimaginable happened. He felt his very soul being pulled beyond the limits of his body, beyond the world he knew, into a vast, infinite expanse. He saw time not as man understood it, but as a great living entity, a reality woven from divine energy. Before him, time took form. It was no longer a mere measurement of days and nights. It was something deeper, something breathing, something alive. He saw past, present, and future existing simultaneously. A pharaoh in Egypt walking through his palace, a traveler in China gazing at the stars, a child in a distant future, yet to be born. And in that moment, he understood. Time was not a straight path. It was a circle, an endless loop, where every moment echoed into eternity. And then he saw something even more astonishing. A voice, neither male nor female, whispered into his heart. Time is not what you think it is. It bends, it folds, it moves beyond your senses. What you call the past is still alive. What you call the future has already begun. This was beyond logic, beyond human understanding, but deep in his heart, he knew he was being shown something sacred, something forbidden. And just as suddenly as it began, the vision ended. Ibn Arabi opened his eyes, but he was no longer the same man. He had glimpsed a truth beyond time, beyond human understanding, and he knew his journey was only beginning. As the vision faded, Ibn Arabi felt his spirit trembling, as though he had touched something beyond human comprehension. He stood in silence, his mind still echoing with the images he had just witnessed. The very fabric of time had unfolded before him, no longer a mystery, but an undeniable truth. But what was this truth? He saw time not as an arrow moving forward, but as a vast ocean stretching into infinity. Past, present, and future were not separate. They coexisted, flowing like waves in an eternal dance. What if time was not something we moved through, but something that moved through us? What if every moment, every event, was already written, waiting to be discovered rather than created? He understood now. Time was not a straight path, but a spiral, a grand design woven by the hands of the divine. And those who could see beyond the veil, those who could break free from the illusion, would witness the past and future as one. For years, he had searched for answers in books, in philosophy, in the words of scholars. But now, he realized, the truth of time was not to be found in logic or reason. It was a secret whispered by the universe itself, a revelation meant only for those who dared to look beyond the ordinary. This was just the beginning. Ibn Arabi knew that he had only taken the first step into an ocean of knowledge that had no shore. And from this moment on, his journey would never be the same again. A mystery beyond human understanding. What is time? We measure it in hours and days, but do we truly understand it? From the moment we are born, we are trapped within its flow, moving forward, never backward. But throughout history, mystics, philosophers, and scientists have questioned this reality. Is time really a straight line, or is it something far more complex? Something that exists beyond human perception? Ibn Arabi was among those who sought the answers, and what he discovered would challenge everything we know about time itself. The Quranic mystery of time. The Quran speaks of time in ways that defy ordinary understanding. In one verse, a day is described as 1,000 years. In another, it is 50,000 years. And in yet another, time appears to stand still, as in the story of the people of the cave, who slept for centuries but felt as if only a moment had passed. These verses suggest that time is not fixed. It is relative, fluid, and deeply intertwined with the divine. Ibn Arabi studied these mysteries, believing that hidden within them was a key to unlocking the true nature of time. Ibn Arabi's vision, time as a dimensional realm. As Ibn Arabi meditated on these revelations, he began to see time not as a mere measurement, but as a dimensional realm, an invisible structure woven into the fabric of existence. To him, past, present, and future were not separate events, but layers of reality existing all at once. He described moments of visions where he could see time unfolding in multiple directions, like streams flowing from a single source. Could it be that time is not something we move through, but rather something we exist within, like a vast and endless ocean? Modern science and Ibn Arabi, a strange connection. Centuries after Ibn Arabi's revelations, modern physics began to uncover ideas that echoed his mystical insights. Einstein's theory of relativity revealed that time is not absolute. It bends, stretches, and even slows down under certain conditions. Quantum mechanics suggests that particles can exist in multiple states at once, hinting at a reality where the past, present, and future may be more connected than we ever imagined. Could it be that the wisdom of the past and the discoveries of today are pointing toward the same truth, a truth that Ibn Arabi saw long before science could prove it? Sufi saints and the timeless realm. Ibn Arabi was not alone in his understanding of time. Many Sufi saints spoke of moments where they transcended the limitations of time itself. There are stories of mystics appearing in two places at once, of saints who could see events before they happened, and of spiritual masters who claimed to have glimpsed the day of judgment as if it were happening in the present. These stories may seem impossible, but if time is not as rigid as we believe, then perhaps the Sufis had tapped into a truth far greater than we can comprehend, a truth that challenges our very perception of reality. But the greatest mystery still remains. Did Ibn Arabi truly enter a hidden realm where time had no meaning? And if so, what did he see? Join us as we uncover his most shocking vision. Next. Ibn Arabi's encounter with the timeless realm. The night was silent, yet Ibn Arabi could feel the hum of an unseen presence, something vast and eternal. He had spent years searching, through books, through teachers, through the depths of his own soul, but nothing had prepared him for what lay ahead. Before him stood a doorway, not of stone nor of wood, but something else entirely. It pulsed with an energy beyond comprehension, as if it were alive, as if it were waiting for him. The air around him grew thick with a presence unseen, yet deeply felt. He reached forward, his fingers grazing the glowing symbols, and in that instant, reality shattered. He was no longer bound by the laws of the physical world. Space collapsed, time stretched into infinity, and he drifted beyond the limits of human perception. He had stepped into a realm untouched by time, a place where the past, the present, and the future were not separate, but one single infinite moment. And then he saw it, the knowledge that few had ever glimpsed, the very fabric of time itself, laid bare before his eyes. Suspended in the boundless ocean of eternity, Ibn Arabi felt neither weight nor time, only an overwhelming sense of knowing. He was not merely seeing history, he was experiencing it. Every moment, every event, every soul that had ever lived or would ever live was present before him, woven together like threads in a grand Dibun tapestry. He understood now. Time was not linear. It was fluid, folding upon itself, shaping and reshaping reality with every passing moment. To those bound by the physical world, it appeared as a sequence, but in truth, it was an endless dance of possibilities. He saw the faces of great minds, seekers of wisdom, who had glimpsed this truth before him. Prophets, mystics, philosophers, all guided by the same unseen force, all connected by the same eternal wisdom. They had spoken different languages, lived in different times, yet their knowledge was one and the same. The weight of understanding pressed upon him. If time was not fixed, then was the future truly predetermined? Or did humanity shape its own fate, shifting the course of history with every choice? At that moment, he understood the greatest secret of all, that time was not a prison, but a divine mystery, one that only those who sought deeply enough could begin to unravel. As Ibn Arabi gazed upon the endless halls of wisdom, he felt a presence unlike any other. A figure emerged, its form shifting as though it existed in multiple times at once. Was it a being from the future, a sage from the past, or something beyond human understanding? Knowledge of time, the guardian spoke, is veiled from those who seek it for power, yet revealed to those who seek it for truth. Ibn Arabi realized then that the secret of time was never about controlling it, but understanding its sacred design. Every event, every soul, every destiny was interconnected. The past spoke to the future, and the future whispered back to the past. Time, the guardian continued, is not meant to be conquered nor feared, but honored. Those who walk the path of wisdom learn to move with its rhythm, rather than against it. He understood now. The past, the present, the future, they were all reflections of a singular divine truth. To see time's reality was to see the hand of the Creator weaving destiny in ways no mortal could fully comprehend. As Ibn Arabi opened his eyes, he knew he had touched a truth few had ever seen. And though he would spend the rest of his life interpreting this revelation, one thing was clear. Time was not a river, nor a chain, nor a prison, but a sacred dance, moving in harmony with the divine. The veil between worlds. Years had passed since his encounter with the guardian of time. The knowledge he had gained was vast, yet the greatest mystery still remained. What was the true essence of time? Was it a flowing river, an endless cycle, or something beyond human comprehension? As he sat in deep meditation, he could feel the weight of every moment he had ever lived pressing upon his soul. Each decision, each thought, each breath, interwoven in a pattern too complex for the ordinary mind to grasp. Before him stood the veil between worlds, shimmering like molten gold. It was neither open nor closed, neither near nor far. It was everywhere and nowhere at once, a doorway that led not just forward, but inward. He felt a strange sensation, as if his body was dissolving, his very being unbound from the constraints of time. Fragments of himself appeared around him, his past, his future, and something more, something eternal. Then, in a voice that was neither male nor female, neither young nor old, he heard a whisper. "You seek the final truth, O traveler of time, but are you prepared to see it?" He takes a deep breath. The mountain, the sky, the stars, all fade into insignificance. He is no longer bound by this world. He is ready. The divine blueprint of existence. As Ibn Arabi stepped beyond the threshold, he found himself in a place beyond human comprehension. Time no longer moved forward, nor did it recede. He was everywhere, and yet nowhere. past, present, and future, coiled into one singular moment. Before we continue unveiling the secrets of Ibn Arabi's vision, if you find this journey fascinating, consider subscribing to our channel. Manar al-Madinah is still new, and your support means everything to us. By subscribing, you're helping us bring more in-depth mystical stories like this one to life. Hit the subscribe button now and be part of this journey into the hidden wisdom of Sufism. Now, let's return to Ibn Arabi's vision. He saw words not with his eyes, but with his soul. And though he had studied the sacred scriptures his whole life, this was different. This was the language of the divine, written in light, forming the essence of all that was and ever would be. In that instant, he realized the greatest secret of all. Time was not a prison, nor a river, nor a cycle. Time was a mirror, reflecting the divine within every soul. To know time was to know oneself. To master time was to awaken to the eternal. And as the vision began to fade, a final whisper reached him. Go back, traveler. Share what you have seen, but know this, the truth cannot be told, only awakened. And so, we reach the end of this journey, but the mysteries of time and destiny are far from over. Ibn Arabi's wisdom has guided seekers for centuries, not just as history, but as an invitation to look deeper, to question reality, and to uncover the hidden secrets of time. If this journey has sparked something within you, let's continue exploring together. Our Manar al-Madinah channel is still new, and we need your support to bring you more profound, thought-provoking content. More incredible stories await, secrets of the past, wisdom for the present, and visions for the future. So subscribe, like, and turn on notifications, and never miss an episode.